Howdy howdy, this is Crafty Grinding and welcome to this arena cutoff video for Marvel Contest of Champions. Today I'm going to provide my thoughts around round 1 predictions for the new Cable and Taskmaster arenas, as well as provide my thoughts on the third instance of the Deadpool OG arena. So the first thing I like to do with the new arenas is kind of categorize them, how they compare to past arenas. With feature arenas, really there's two types of categories right now that that I see after the 5-star feature arena has been added, and then that's new champs and old champs. With Cable, it's pretty crystal clear, he's an old champ. And then for the 4-star basic arenas, really there's just two groups really. You got low interest, which there's a range from like 1.6, 1.7 all the way up to 2.4, 2.5 million. And then there's also high interest champs, like think Blade and Medusa, where you're talking, mid threes to over, 4 million plus, especially like with Blade. And with Taskmaster, while it's his first time as a 4-star basic champ, I do think he's going to be in that low range. Even Morningstar and Dr. Octopus, as first 4-star basic champs, they too fell into that higher end of the low interest. And then with Deadpool, obviously Deadpool's himself, and we'll just cover kind of what we've seen so far with the first two instances of his arena to kind of, come up with where I think his third round instance will end up. But anyway, now that I've categorized these arenas, let's take a look at some past results for them, or similar arenas. Starting first with the low interest 4-star basic. So you can see I mentioned Dr. Octopus, Kingpin, Morningstar. This was all first-time 4-star basic champs. And, Dr. Octopus and Morningstar are pretty decent champs in the game. And you can see that their cutoffs were just over 2 million. Nothing too spectacular, but still a decent grind, but nothing too difficult, especially if you've got a roster that's been in the game for a while. And then even, oddly enough, out of all these champs, probably Kingpin, even though, he's a new champ as well, 4-star basic new champ, I would think he's probably the least valuable out of all these, and he had the highest first round cutoff score, so go figure. But anyway, this is probably right around the range where Taskmaster will end up, and you can see when it comes to that first shard tier, that 1.5 to 1.3 is kind of the range of the cutoff for that first shard tier. Now jumping to old 3-star feature results, there's not a lot of drama on this one. It's pretty consistent, right around 650,000, just a couple thousand over that last milestone of 640,000 is where you can kind of expect to see these cutoffs land. And then with the shard tier, right around anywhere from 400 to almost 500,000. Same thing really with the old 4-star feature champs. You can see from Gambit all the way over to even Hulkbuster most recently. You're somewhere high 4 millions to low 5 millions, and that's pretty consistent as well. And then even with the shard tier, again, the top 10% shard tier, not a lot of drama there, somewhere between 3.6 to low 4 millions. Even with the old 5-star feature results, really, you can see there's not a lot of drama as well, as we're talking very close, especially when you're dealing with 20, millions, tens of millions of arena points, and they all kind of land in the same area, right around 20 million. Again, not a lot of surprise or drama here. With the top 10% anywhere, the low end around 9 million, but it's kind of hovered around that mid 10 millions, 10.5 all the way to 11 million. So again, when it comes to the 3-star, 4-star, and 5-star feature Cable arenas, I don't expect a lot of drama here, a lot of suspense. I think it's pretty crystal clear where these trends show, and so I'll reflect those in my predictions here in a couple minutes. Deadpool, though, unfortunately, we still see some pretty high cutoffs. Even the second time around, everybody was kind of like 19 million for the 4-star OG Deadpool. Yeah, now the second time around, still the case, 20 million. It's even going to be it even ticked up a little bit higher. Fortunately, that decent rank reward, that shard tier of 1 to 10%, looks like it's going to end around 4 million again for the second time around. So this is like just looking at past results to kind of help me figure out what the predictions are. The first time through, like the first round, I always like to get the input from the community for those arenas where I think there might be the most suspense or most question marks, at least from my standpoint, on where I think these cutoffs are going to be. And since when it comes to old feature champs, it's pretty crystal clear where those results are, at least for right now. Not a lot of suspense there. So what I asked the community this time, what I asked you guys about, is what about the 4-star basic? What do you think about Taskmaster? And what do you think about the third instance of Deadpool? So we'll first take a look at the 4-star basic Taskmaster. 391 of you took the time to vote, and I appreciate that. Thank you very much for those who took the time there, and especially those who took the time to also provide some context to their vote in the comment section of those polls. And you can see out of the 391, there's not a really strong majority one way or the other. The most voted, 42% voted for that 2 to 2.2 million range. but there was some decent amount of votes for the other ranges as well. Looking at some of the content, or context, I should say, around these votes, Shandin Sharma had a good point of, though Taskmaster is a decent champion, but it's hard to learn his playstyles compared to the older God tier champs we have at this point in the game, and many people find it hard to play with Taskmaster in certain scenarios of the game. So I think he brings up a good point that Taskmaster is a decent champ, and if you know how to use him appropriately, he can be pretty decent, but his gameplay, his game mechanics aren't the easiest to pick up kind of thing. So that may, you know, there just may not be a ton of interest for somebody that, you know, it's more trigonometry and calculus versus basic math to play him kind of thing. So that may keep his numbers kind of down. Then on the higher end, for people who voted, you know, 2.2 to 2.4 or even 2.4 plus, Gas Mask Dude provides, as usual, his insightful comments. He predicts that Taskmaster will hit 3.3, so he's actually pushing closer to that higher end because he's one of the newer champs. He counters a lot of BS defenders like Spidey, Nightcrawler, Electro Magic, and even Medusa and Infinity War Iron Man says his exploit weaknesses cannot trigger auto block. Lesser known fact. So hey, there's something you just might have learned about Taskmaster if you didn't know about that. And then also sometimes annoying to fight in Alliance War around the likes of Moon Knight. Not really hard, but can catch you off guard since after 10 debuffs, his debuff is immune. So I think Gas Mask Dude, as he typically does, provided some pretty good insights on why he thinks this is going to be the higher end. But I think, based off of reading everybody's input and just the general feel across the community, he might be the only one who knows some of these facts. So I think, I mean, other than people now watching this video and picking up on some of these lesser known facts on how useful Taskmaster is, I just don't think that's general knowledge, or again, maybe calls to the complexity of how to play with him kind of thing that might keep his numbers low. And then Gas Mask Dude, and maybe he put this in as kind of a balancer to his own thoughts, is everyone else is busy grinding for Deadpool and 5-star Cable. So I think that's a good point. And since a 4-star basic arena is set up very similar to the Deadpool arena, people might just go over to Deadpool versus spending too much time with Taskmaster, or maybe split their grinding time to just get decent rank rewards and not push up rank rewards in the OG Deadpool arena and not push up Taskmaster too high. So great input from the community. Thanks again for that. And then we jump over to the third instance of the Deadpool OG arena. Again, almost 300 people voted again, and I really appreciate that, as your input really is a deciding factor, half of the story, if you will, half of the battle when it comes to my first round predictions. So I appreciate it. And again, with this one, it feels like there's the community's pretty much split on where they think this one's going to end up, with 18 to 21% having the highest number, but not by a big majority or anything like that. So here's some additional thoughts on these votes. So you got Fruit Loop here from 18 to 21 million. He's rarely available, and many players hunt for trophy champions with more vigor than they do for new champs, as well as due to him being a trophy champ, people who want to awaken him will try to do so through arena over using awakening stones. So I think that's why Fruit Loop's thinking it'll be 18 to 21. I think decent points. Then you got Tim O'Connell here saying 21 to 24 million. Still too much want in the community, and a lot of salty people from the first arena that only can really grind on the weekend. And I think that's a good point, is that this is over the weekend and also against Cable and Taskmaster arenas where, you know, as you've seen from the previous trends, we're not expecting big grinds going on in those other arenas. So this is going to kind of be the highlighted arena this time around. And then you got Kaiser Ren with older champs up for grabs on top of better and he's directly calling out what I just said about not a lot of competing arena to go against Deadpool this time around. On top of a better grasp of what Deadpool is going for, I expect a bunch of people to jump in with the I can earn that many points attitude. I expect the cutoff to be 22 million at absolute most high, though, with a 10% shard range right around 4.2 million. So again, thank you community for your input. So considering the crowdsourced info that I just went through here, as well as the trend analysis that I went through a few minutes ago, here are my thoughts for round 1 predictions, the round 1 cutoff predictions for the veterans bracket. So when we look at the 5-star feature Cable arena, I think it's going to be right around 22 million. A little bit higher than Hulkbuster, with a top 10% shard tier at 11 million, which is kind of standard. Then with the 4-star basic or 4-star feature cable arena, I think it'll be right around 5.3 million with the top 10% at 4.1 million. Jumping over to Taskmaster, I do think it's still going to remain on the higher end of the low range, so that's right around 2.4 million with 11 to 25% at 1.5 million. And lastly, with Deadpool, unfortunately, I think we're going to see the highest cutoff yet with 22 million, but it's not drastically higher than what we've seen so far, but still ridiculously high for a 4-star champ in the game at this day and age with the status of the game kind of thing. With the 1 to 10% rank reward right around 4 million, and again, I'm a big advocate for these rank rewards as they're pretty decent, and 4 million isn't that tough, even though we are dealing with 4-star and 3-star champs only. Now, these are where I think the cutoffs will actually land within, give or take 5 to 10% kind of thing. So I always like to kind of give a grind target, so to kind of go above and beyond where I think those cutoffs will land, just in case some unexpected numbers occur. So with Cable, if you really want them, you should go to 24 million for the 5-star feature Cable, that is. And if you want the 4-star feature Cable, go to 6 million. If you really want Taskmaster, go to 2.6 million. And if you really want Deadpool, 4-star Deadpool at that, you'll have to go to 24 million. Just think about the gold pool arena when it comes around. For those folks that get the golden ticket, I know that will limit the number of people that'll get in there, but if we're going 24 million for a 4-star Deadpool, just think of how high this will go. When you probably can use 5 stars and 6 stars, we're probably looking at 60, 70 million plus kind of thing. But that's a topic for another day. So again, these are my thoughts for the grind target for the veterans bracket for these current arenas. Now, you'll probably notice the 3-star arena is not listed here. If you've been following my channel the last couple weeks, you've noticed that those have also dropped. The 3-star arenas have dropped from kind of the survey scoring coming from the MCOC Truckos source as well as Reddit, which I think, by the way, MCOC Truckos uses Reddit. So I think, what Reddit has is plus their own input that they receive in their own post. But anyway, both of these seem to be getting rid of the 3 stars, and I think rightfully so, because there's not a lot of suspense on where these cutoffs are becoming very predictable, the 3-star arena. So to that point, I'm just kind of adding the veteran 3-star perspective on the beginner bracket and intermediate bracket numbers until, such a time that we see a lot of variation that it makes sense to pull them back to the other information I just shared. But anyway, with all that said, I see the veteran 3-star feature arena coming in cutoff right around 650,000 with the grind target right around 700,000. Now, speaking of the beginner and intermediate bracket, there's still not a lot of data out there. Thank you for those folks who take the time and give me some of their, their personal information that they've gotten, the personal results, arena results when they've been in these arenas, because that's really the only data we have out there. Unfortunately, that sample size is not statistically significant enough to say we're doing trend analysis, but at least gives us a sense of the ballpark that we're dealing with. So with the beginner's bracket, meaning your account's been open for less than 31 days, you're looking at the 3-star feature right around 240, 250,000, the 4-star basic right around 1 million, and the 4-star feature right around 1 million. Now the intermediate bracket, meaning your account's been open between 30 and 60 days, or I should say 31 and 60 days. The 3-star feature Cable will be right around 550,000. The 4-star basic Taskmaster says 800. I think it might, sneak up to 900, as that'll probably be the better champ in the eyes of many folks in the intermediate bracket. And then for the maybe even 1 million there. And then with the 4-star feature Cable, it says 1.4. That'll probably slip back down to the 800. I'd probably swap the 4-star basic and the 4-star feature numbers you hear. If you really want Taskmaster, you better go into the low millions. If you just want the 4-star feature Cable, not to discount Cable at all, but he's not the champ we hoped he would be. I think you're looking at a number in the 800 to 900,000 range. So anyway, these are my thoughts for the first round of the new Cable and Taskmaster arenas, as well as the third instance of the Deadpool OG arena. We'd love to hear your thoughts or any questions you have. Throw it on down in the comment section. We can definitely discuss them there. And if you like this video, would really appreciate a thumbs up. Smash that thumbs up button, please. And if you like this and other videos I have on the channel, would really appreciate a subscribe. Thanks a lot for stopping by, and have a great day.